Hey guys, just plugging this in because I know that as soon as I start and get comfortable, I know exactly what's going to happen. And yep, I'm going to need to fill in the thing. I'm going to need to plug it in. So I might as well do it now, right? All right. So we've got an energy update going on here, streaming through pretty strongly. I've been wiped for days after the full moon ceremony, so I really want to talk to that because, as always, I thought it was myself and know there's other people that have been going through it as well. So I would be really curious to hear how you guys are going whilst I bring this up and share it. Oh, did I do that right? Yep. Okay, and by the way, guys, trust your intuition. Like, I've got an update, an energy update. I want to talk about dimensional shifts, and I want to talk about the big purging that's going on at the moment. And then I also want to update you on everything because there are so many things going on right now. I don't like really want to speak to them all, right? But I have been a bit flawed the past couple of days, and I'll speak about that as well. But I actually don't feel like it's just me either, okay? So Trust Intuition is open. You guys might have seen that I opened that, and Trust Intuition is my signature program. It's where you get access to every single spiritual tool that I use, have used, do use, and it's obviously your healer's certification as well. So if you're feeling called to step up into the world and do this as your business or enhance your business or start a business, or you just want to learn all the things that I know and talk about all the time, like literally in step by step, here's this one. This is why we do this first. This is why we don't cut cords until we've done a shadow, or we do these things. Like, this is why, because, you know, this is everything that you need to know in this course. So I'll pop the link in the comments so you can have a look at that as well. But this, with Trust Intuition, this will be the last time that you'll see it at this investment price as well. So I know I change things all the time, but this has been changing for a little bit, and I changed it back, and then I'm like, yeah, next time this opens, this won't be at this price. So just so you guys know, and I've just posted that in there for you as well. So let me share this, and then I'll be super present with you guys because I do have a lot to say about this energy update that's streaming through really strongly. And there's this other thing that's been coming through. So after I had this big shift, and this is the thing, like when we shift to the next level, this is what happens. Like darkness, entities, all these sorts of things will be around. Like I always talk about this, when you're shifting to the next level darkness will turn up to, you know, are you sure you want to do it? Are you really going to do it? Are you really going to commit to your purpose? Are you sure? Hang on a sec. We're just going to like try these other things first and distract you. Are you sure you want to do this thing, right? And because you're like, they're really good at making you confused. I'll tell you that. Like, that's their job. That is their job. Not sure, uncertain, confused. Like, that's the entities and demons' job, right? There's a lot of dark energy on the planet at the moment. Because what happens when we go through a spiritual awakening? Well, we've opened the portals, and the portals are open, and so all of these like things come down, right? All right, let me just share this. Okay, cool. So, because I'm really curious, like I've been crying lots, a few other people that I know have been crying lots as well, and I'm curious if you guys have been crying, or is it just me and a couple other people? There's been like waves of it too, so like yesterday afternoon, so maybe this time yesterday, for me was just like this like biggest like clearing of this, I don't know, like it just felt like this big black hole in my heart. And obviously I've been grieving the relationship stuff and everything that I've just been through and going through and trying to like understand what's going on. But at the same time, it's not just like a crying for the sake of crying. And I know I always say it's not just that, right? But it's like literally facing what has been vibrationally, physically in my body all this time. Like, you know, we're pretty good at covering things up and we can do that, but energy doesn't lie, right? And what's inside vibrationally, I feel like this whole road trip road trips that I've been doing is the universe like forcing me into physicality of shifting it out, which is kind of interesting, right? So, hey Kelly and Sean. Sara's here. And okay, so Tamsin's been crying a lot too. Yeah, and I feel like there's been lots of tears being shed, lots of release, lots of coming out like about that, right? And it's almost like I was conscious that on Monday was Friday, Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I was conscious that Monday was the 3-day portal of like the window, like that's the window of the 3 days, and I say 3 days either side of the moon. So it's like it like dropped out, so I was conscious of that, but at the same time, I've been clearing something really big. So I woke up on Sunday morning, just like, I don't know, I wasn't myself at all. And I just feel like I've been shifting through a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to go into details about that, but on my Trust Intuition group, I shared about the deep, dark stuff in there, which is what we talk about a lot in there. We get right into the details of all this stuff. So once you join Trust Intuition, you get access to the Facebook group, and I'm always dropping in the deep, dark stuff of the, all the intricate details. So you think if I talk about stuff on live stream out here, imagine when I talk about in there, right? So there's this energy at the moment that I want to talk about. It feels like there's, how I talked about a while ago, if you've been following me for a while, and I got the message, and I actually found the video for someone today, actually. It was actually in April, no, it was June. It was June, oh my goodness, it was June. It was June 2018, so 2 years ago. And I feel like there's this 2 recalibration thing going on, right? So June 2018, I did a live stream because it was such a strong energy update, and I got the message, I drew it on paper and everything on that live stream. It's not vertical anymore. Like, that was the message that I kept getting. It's not vertical anymore. It's not linear. It's not linear. It's not linear. Like, that was the message I kept getting. And it's like, it's not linear in a sense of like, it's now this, like, and it was literally like, if we're going, it's not linear, like we're going up on a straight line, or, it's like, it's now this, like it's now horizontal. It's a big web of expansion almost. And the message that I'm getting right now about, and that's why I started talking about the webs, and we're on these energy webs, and we're all like these collective kind of masses on different webs, like spider webs, right? But we're all connected, but we're on these different webs, right? And it feels like, there's 2 webs right now, and let me know if you guys resonate with this or not. And one of them is ascending, let's say, I don't know, one of them's raising in vibration, and the other one's here. And I feel like this is where the split in the duality consciousness, or the duality polarity consciousness on the planet right now, and it's very prevalent, like you can see it, right, in so many things. I don't even need to talk about it, you guys know. And there's a piece where we're stepping, it's like, if this web's still here, right, and this is a person stepping up onto this web and leaving this web behind, right? So if that web's still there and they're stepping up, they're like, they're stepping up. And it's kind of like, we're literally like choosing to walk up on this web and continue with this, or this one's staying here. Like, that is literally the energy that it feels right now. Like, so we've got like, it feels like it's about here, whatever that is, right? And we're choosing, some of us are choosing to step up and leave everything behind. And I feel like the crying and the tears and the purging and the black stuff and all of that is like, like we're literally leaving old realities behind. Like, physically stuff has changed, obviously in the world stuff, but in your own personal life, like literally, like you will never be the same ever again, because we're literally stepping up and going on this one, and this one, it just feels like it's stationary or something. Like, that is literally how it feels. And I'm curious if you guys actually feel like that too. So Kelly says, crying then fine, lots of shifting. Yes, I've been feeling that too. Crying then fine, crying then fine. Hey, Annie. So, and I really wanted to share that because it feels like, in this space, it's kind of like, trudging through sludge, or the crying or the hard stuff. It's like when we're stepping up, it's like we're, you know, if you can imagine, you know, a full spider web then too, and it's like these threads are like, when it's a little bit hard or we have a cry or there's something bad happening or whatever, that's like another thread pinging back, like that's a thread breaking off, you know, and it's like that's the let go of it, you know. There's always an energetic fallout of a relationship breakup or a career change, you know, something like that, right? So Alison says, definitely feel very heavy today. Yeah, so there's been a lot of that around. So I would definitely recommend at this time, especially over these eclipses, to keep like your self-care, protection, energy levels up, you know. Like it just feels like the veils are extremely thin, and I feel like that's only going to increase. Like, you know, it's kind of like we're only just started in the middle of these portals, and I just feel like it's going to increase. So yeah, and it just feels like we're leaving everything behind, and there's a big piece about stepping into the next version of yourself. And literally to do that, like everything needs to be stripped back. Everything's stripped back. Everything is bare. Everything is like out in the open. It's a very, very vulnerable space to be in. Not many people do it because it's like extremely uncomfortable, and just people just don't do it. You know, and it's like we know we need to step into that, or maybe we already are, but then we're maybe like, oh, nah. And then we're kind of like, we're good here, but then something, and we're like, oh, but we have to, you know, but we don't know what it is. I feel like there's some people who are really clear about what it is, and there's other people who don't know, right? And even in myself, I'm like, yes, but it's like, you know, and I think it's one thing, and then it recalibrates again, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, it's not that thing, right? And then at the same time, and I really want to point this out, there is also a piece where that feeling, right? So that feeling of stepping up, person stepping up, it's a different feeling. It is not a high feeling. Like, you know, when we're like get excited about something and we're like, yeah, it's this thing, and then we come crashing down because it's like it's not or whatever, right? There's a certain path opening up to you right now, and the feeling, and it was in one of the Tuesday tarot cards yesterday as well, the feeling is elevating. That is the feeling of it. It's an elevating feeling. It is not a high and a like get excited and, you know, like we have a connection with someone and it's resonance, or like this is, yes, like this is the path. Like it's a different feeling. Like that's like almost a empty high. Whereas this feeling that I'm talking about is I say elevating because that's how it feels. It's kind of a slow, but we're like, yeah, cool. Like we're on this boat. We're on this ship, we're on this alien ship, we're on this whatever it is, right? Sorry, I'm just gonna text Adea to get her food out. Okay, done. Yeah, and so it's like this elevating feeling, like it's this slow up feeling, but it's a grounded, this is the path, right? And whatever, so if you're confused and you don't know, you're like, I'm not sure, but you know there's something, or you're like, look for that feeling, right? And I say look for it, but I'm like, feel where that feeling is, not the like high and like, yeah, it's this, or, you know, it's a very different feeling. It's just like yep, this is the path. And that path is the path of your highest destiny. That path is you becoming your true self. I feel like there is a web of us right now. Right now, I said there's like all these webs, and we're all these different collective webs of consciousness, right? There is a web of us right now where we're literally stepping the elevation up to here, and it is a solid elevation feeling of like this is it, and it's scary, and it's not, it's exciting, but it's a deep grounded feeling, because this is the path of what you've always dreamt of. This is the path of your highest destiny. This is the path of your highest self. This is the path of your life purpose, in such a grounded way that this current eclipse season is stripping back everything that you have been putting off, that has been in your vibrational field and you didn't even know, that has been covered up, that has been pushed to the back burner, and you're just like, that's not what I meant. Maybe that's not what I meant to do, but it keeps creeping back in. Like, that is right now, like, these eclipses are just stripping this bare. Like, you cannot escape this. Is pretty much the feeling, right? Alison says she's had lots of squirrels coming to her over the past few days. Let me have a look what squirrels are. So squirrels, okay, squirrel. Squirrel, get ready for coming changes. Check this out, this is out of the book. Get ready for coming changes by lightening your load, clearing out and giving away any goods or material possessions that no longer serve you. Like, I wanted to write a blog post and I'm not ready to write it yet, maybe because of what's coming. But anyway, to receive everything I wanted, I had to let go of everything I had. Now, literally, there was a point in time when I was off grid and I was like, almost questioning, like, what am I doing off grid here? Like, you know, like, I was making the bed with my luxury sheets that I brought with us because we were technically on this road trip, and I'm like, cool, just chuck in towels, you know, if we need to camp somewhere or whatever. Like, so I have my luxury bed sheets because of course I'm going to take them with me. And, you know, I was literally like crying, making this bed, and just like realizing how much I have stripped back and let go of, you know, and I didn't know at that point in time to receive everything, but now I'm here recalibrating, and my entire business is recalibrating, let alone myself. And I've got more to share about that soon too, because, okay, I'm going to share a bit of it now because I got the message today. Like, I had this huge clearing this morning and it was really intense. And if you're interested in intuition, you'll know the inside outs about that. And I've been guided to open up a specific, really intimate mastermind of mastering your light. And it is literally everything that I've gone through and walked through, and literally helping you to strip back everything that you need. This is a very intimate group. There's a very limited number. There's not even a sales page for this. This literally came through today. It's really, really clear. It'll be a 6-week program that I'm taking you over, but there's one-on-one actual phone calls with me as well. And it's not for the faint-hearted. So if this is calling you, please send me a private message. There is no link. There is no sales page to this. This is like, if you know that you need to do this mastery of light with me one-on-one, this is something that just streamed through today. So that's one of the things. So you need to message me about that. But it's not for the faint-hearted. And yeah, the mastery of light is like very intimate, small group that I'm taking through these, like, yeah, it's next level. So please message me if that calls to you, because this is one of the new programs literally dropped in today. I'm like, okay, I got it, right? Really get it and got it about everything that's going on. Now, okay, back to Squirrel, right? Letting go of everything to receive everything. And this is what I mean about this, like letting go of all the comfort zones, like this stepping off this web represents every physical, vibrational, like this is deep in the physicality of what we're releasing ourselves from, but it's also deep in the like energetics of the physicality of vibration that you have had. So if you're dropping weight really easily, or you feel like your diet's changing really easily, or like things are just like falling away, like it is like you have chosen on some level this, yeah? And in that process, everything that is not a vibration of this higher elevated space of your destiny, of who you're meant to be, is literally being stripped away for you. Like people dropping out of your life, just things taken away. Like thought you were going, nah, not that direction, and all of a sudden that's gone too. Like literally, if it is not an energetic match to this, it is literally gone, right? And that includes like physical, energetic, like this is all of that is, right? And so Squirrel was a message for us all. Thank you for sharing that, Alison. Get ready for coming changes by lightening your load, clearing out and giving away any goods or material possessions that no longer serve you. The best way to deal with the challenging situation that's before you is to confront it head on and be totally honest with your feelings and thoughts. So interesting, right? Is to confront it head on. And this is like, I feel like this is an energetic, thanks squirrels and the others, right? Because of what I've just been sharing, like these past few months has been like, we have had to confront things. We have had to face our reality. People being in lockdown and we have not been able to freaking escape it, right? Like awesome plan, divine one. Like we have literally had to face it because our destiny is freaking calling us. Now, are you going to choose to step up and move yourself into that elevated feeling? Now, we might be like, yes, I am, and we do it. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, but what happens, right? And this is, I'm going to share the energetic fallout of removing yourself from somebody's energy. If you haven't listened to that audio, or maybe you need a refresher, this is a really big one because it is a big energetic fallout. And it's the same thing too, like a relationship breakup, what is it? Blog that I wrote a little while ago. I'll share those two after the live stream. They, you know, like when you start feeling them, it's not like, oh, I need to like be with them again, or maybe it is, right? But what actually happens is, you know, and this applies to any physical thing, any relationship, to anything, not just a person, right? So when we're elevating and we're releasing ourselves and we're stepping up, we're like, yes, this feels good. And we know all of a sudden these like, you know, the web here that's held us in this structure of reality, that's all we've known. That's all we've ever known, right? So when we're stepping up out of that, all of a sudden we're like stripped bare, and energetically we're like stripped bare. So maybe this is why I was saying the protection and just like really making sure your energetic field is strong and everything. And I think that's probably what's happened to me the past few days. Like, oh, like I said, if you're in the Trust Intuition group, you know about it. So it's like, because we're out of the mold and structure of what we're used to in reality, and we're stripped bare in this transition phase, right? Or maybe we're halfway there or something. Like there's no structure, there's no like, which is this energetic cocoon that doesn't have the protective or the physical reality of what we've been living in for all this time. Does that make sense, guys? Like, let me know if this is making sense. And so in this transition space, it's like we've also had to confront all of this, which has enabled it to drop away, which is now where I feel we're here and now elevating up to this space. But because it's like new and different and we don't have this physicality structure hold, we're like kind of like, we're like almost left in limbo, right? It's like we're in limbo in a way. And it's kind of like we're needing to navigate our space in limbo, which is just like, that doesn't happen, does it? Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, let me look at these comments and then I'll come back to the squirrel, because squirrel's got a lot of messages, obviously. Feel like they're telling me to get everything in order. Yes, this is the thing, and this is why I shared in Trust Intuition as well. I'm like that, the world prediction update that came through on Friday night, so I don't know, 5 nights ago now. If you haven't watched that, that was the being who came through originally in January and gave me that January prediction. He came through again after the full moon on Friday night and said keep getting that 2022 is big. So we're going about another 18 months, which when you think about the birthing phase, like, and this is what I said on Friday too, before the full moon. It's like that day set the tone. Whatever choices and actions you made on that day set the tone for the next 18 months. So if there was decisions made or proposals or an opportunity that landed in your lap and you said yes to it, like you have just set your destiny for the next 18 months, right? And of course we can always change it, but I feel like from that we are now like at this point where like, okay, you know, like we're on this way. So Annie says yes. All right, I'm just gonna check that. I can feel like I can smell something burning. I know she took it out. There's this burning smell, but as long as the fire alarm doesn't go off, I'm all good. I've had enough fire alarms and fires going off. I'm like, okay. All right, so Annie says, yes, I've definitely felt unsettled and crying emotionally, unstable. I feel like crying, but I can't. I've had the blow up with hubby. It makes me cry and feel better, then it all starts again. Yes, lots of stopping and starting crying has been a big deal, yes. Sara says, a beautiful raven graced me with his presence yesterday. I'm sure they are a sign we are in a portal. Yes, in a portal, and also like the magic, definitely in the portal space, but also a sign, like especially when there's, I've now realized as well for me personally, when there's ravens or crows around, it's almost a warning sign. Oh, it's come from this. And so interesting that I only really got this the other day, right? I only got this message from Raven. So how do I get it? It says in here. So this is the Druid Oracle. We might have seen it, me posted on the story a little bit. So it says for Raven, so gift of prophecy might be going and undergoing an initiation or ceremony, or something informal is being initiated into the mysteries. But it also, when I was reading more, because of where the totem actually came from, the raven, it was like during the Second World War, the Tower of London was bombed, blah, blah, blah. But in this, you know, where it came from, originally Raven and the Druids and stuff, originally came from, it was like they came around to give them warning that something like impending doom, you know, like not like death, which it could be, but that something, you know, like a hard, it's going to be tricky for a while. Like that was a big part of the raven as well. And when I look back over the past few months for me, I think I might have told you, but when I was driving to Lucas's place, like I'd never seen so many ravens and crows in one sort of thing. And like if I look at all the change and all the like stuff I've purged out and gone through, like you want to talk about initiation, I'm like, okay. So yeah, so definitely in a portal, definitely a sign of like, yeah, rough energy, like there's things coming, like they're like they're giving you heads up. So definitely different. Yeah. So Tamsin says, I feel like everyone is getting shown consciousness of their shit or not. Yes. Web and Step Up, that on your about resonates. Yes. So it's like relive or rewrite. Okay. The other thing I'm going to release, and it's been tapping me on the shoulder and I've been wiped by this darkness and now it's all been shifted and like it's just been freaking huge. I'm going to share the Akashic Record meditation. So it is a paid meditation, just like my past life or inner child. It'll be $15. But this is like, it's been coming to me, the Akashic Record, to share this with you guys. It's only in my crown chakra, but I am being called to share this separately with you guys as well. And obviously it's just the right time now. It's been sitting there waiting to come out for ages. Because when you say Tamsin, so it's relive or rewrite. And I kept getting that message the past few days to release, you know, the Akashic Record, because it's like, okay, time to rewrite our past and our future. Like this is what the Akashic Record meditation does, is literally we go into the Akashic Records, we can receive information, but then also rewrite our past and our history, right? And there's a big thing as well, it's like being open to our past. So sometimes we're really like closed off to our past and hating on our past and all of that sort of thing. And my mentor Lois did something with me in session. It was like, you know, opening the back of my heart, and I was like, oh my God, like that just changed everything. You know, I wasn't, you know, we always talk about open your heart, but we forget about the back and we forget about what we're closed to in our past. Like maybe we don't want to open our past, like I get it. But when we also close off to it, we're shutting off all the lessons and we're shutting off all the pain. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like opening to the love of your past as well. And it was like an instant game changer. So maybe work with that too. So yeah, it was just like open through the the back and the front. But and I always, in Lightfield Yoga, I always work with opening the sides of the chakras as well. Like the whole thing. It's not just like we're front and back. We're like, it's a big circle, right? So like, let's work with the whole thing. Like it's the whole thing open and flowing rather than just a front or a back hole. Like there's a big torus in each of our chakras. Like they should be open like that. Yeah. So when it's easy to just take the step, but it almost feels like we are ready to allow ourselves to receive. Are we ready to allow ourselves to receive? Yes, this is the thing. Like receive who we are, receive our next level. Like, are we really? Like, yeah, like, and this is where the darkness comes. Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to be your best higher self and live your entire destiny? Like, yes, actually I am sure. Are you sure? Hang on a sec, we're just going to throw this one at you just to make sure. It's like, yes, I'm still going this path. Thank you. Thank you. But yes, being able to receive ourselves. And this is so interesting because the matriarchal and patriarchal shift, right, has come back into balance. And I think I said on live stream last time or whatever, like, it's like the feminine is now healing from the patriarchal control and all the stuff that's been. We're like healing from that now, healing the big wounds, healing the big yin wounds. And now it's like, okay, so now can I actually receive who I am? Can I actually receive that divine feminine of the feminine? Like, because the patriarchal's been in control for all this time. Now it's like dropped, coming into like in a balanced phase at the moment, right? It's like finding its, you know, when the things like knock each other and then they find their thing or whatever. It's what it feels like is going on, right? And then so we're like in this space of you know, letting ourselves actually receive that balance even, which is all of us. Yeah, that's so interesting. And the black and the white and everything going on, it's kind of like consciousness becoming unconscious. And yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, so interesting. Okay, with allowing ourselves to receive, working through the blockages, and with that breaking the chains, yes, whole release, recalibration, and then integration. Yes, big, 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 big. Yes. Okay, so Alison says that I feels heavy, doesn't matter how much try to clear, nothing is happening at very minute. Yeah, and that's what it's been for me too. So I actually needed to get some outside support and help with energetic clearing from 3 different people again this week, just with that level of darkness that was around me and stuff, and I know exactly why it was there. No matter how much clearing I did, it would do a little bit and not. My third has actually been quite pulsing a bit as well. So Tamsin says spiders have been everywhere for me, and I actually did distance healing on someone today as well. So yeah, if you guys need help with that. And I've also changed the price of my distance healings. They're $197 now, not $444. And the psychic readings are $97 for 45 minutes, not $444. And then they will be going up to $197. So there's a few things, like I said, like I've gone through this huge recalibration change. So yeah, I'll pop the links in and you'll see it on my page too. Or if you need help, just send me a message and I'll send you the link with all the details on them, because there's lots of things going on. Obviously the inner circle is still open as well, and that's with Trust Intuition. They will be closing on the 28th of June though. So Trust Intuition and the inner circle will be closing on the 28th of June. And inner circle is where you get 12 months access to me, and you get access to everything in that space too. So yeah, please send me a message if you've got questions about those. And the link for Trust Intuition is there too. So Deborah says, yes, it's about becoming the highest form of your true self. Yeah, it's time. Yeah. And especially, like I said, it's a group of people on this web, and you'll feel it, right? And when we look at that, it's because, like, with what's happening in the world, like, there's only one way it's going to go, right? And we need to step up to be able to receive that. Yeah, it's not somebody's coming to save us. It's not that all this is going to change. In us stepping up, this is where we receive the new world. It's up to us to all individually go like this. Not somebody's coming to save us all down here and change all the systems and structures down here. Like, no. This is us saving the world. This is us choosing this. Yeah? So Annie says, I've discovered today for some reason at the shock that pushes me off my path and true north, and then some sort of pain like foot or arm that makes me remember who I am, and it's myself so frustrating. I know the physical body's good at reminding us where we need to recalibrate back to, right? It's a good one. So Tamsin says, the web has always resonated with me. It's always been a high vibrational perspective, visual, and helps detach and see shit clearer. Yeah, how awesome is that? I don't know when you joined on the live stream, but I remember when the web analogy first came through, it was 2 years ago in June, and when I was saying at the start of this live stream, like, it's not linear anymore. It's not linear. It's not linear. It's like, it's this, you know, and that's when the web started to come through. So, and I feel like because we're expanding in this way, you know, we've gone like this for so long, and now it's like, nope, we're like doing this now. There's like all of these or something. Like, and I guess that's the expansion. If you imagine we're all webs and we're all this, but now all the webs were like this, and now all the webs are like, whoa, moving away and stuff. It's interesting, right? Very interesting. Saw a rainbow today. Awesome. Hey, Matthew. So Tamsin says, maybe don't try, just allow it and hold the awareness. Maybe you're being asked to see further through the illusion, and if it's not shifting, maybe it's right in front of you. Hannah has amazing third eye meditations in Trust Intuition. Yes, and she is in Trust Intuition too. And sometimes we just need to sit with the energy. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes we need to just sit with it, because, and even though I've been like around this darkness and stuff in this past, few days, and it friggin' floored me, at the same time, I needed to face it rather than run from it. And yes, I needed help to clear it and all these sorts of things, like definitely, right? It was like fully next level. And it's interesting where like fully next level is taking me and propelling me to, is like that arrow's been pulled back and she's been let go now. So yeah, watch where this ends up. I know a lot of people are watching because they know what happens when this happens to me. So yeah. Love this. Yes, a whole willingness to unlearn everything to be able to relearn. Yes, unprogramming, detaching, and be so raw, vulnerable, open, and expansion. Yes, and in that, programming ourselves to the highest version of ourselves at the same time. Yeah, so in that transition phase where we do step off and step into that new reality, this is where we get to write what that is as well, right? And like I said, like we're leaving all those structural containers behind, right? And we're stepping in here. In this phase, this is where we get to write the new structural containers that hold us, yeah? And this is where mindset and all those pieces come into it, yeah? And all the energetic work and stuff. So Justin says, I need release from that energy from past relationships. Yeah, they're gone, but the thought of them is there. Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because it's third eye, it's brain. When we think about crown chakra opening and the spiritual awakening the planet's going through, what then activates next is the third eye. So we're seeing the truth about the relationships, about everyone on the planet and all the systems and the structures. And then the third eye, so then the ears coming in, and then we're kind of like grounding a new reality into reality about that, right? So let me just write down, and I will, so I'm going to post the energetic fallout of removing yourself from somebody's energy. Like I said, that's a really awesome audio. And then also the relationship, I guess it's still the relationship fallout. It's a breakup blog I wrote. It's a really good one about that as well. And so then I think I need to do a live stream specifically, maybe I'll do that tomorrow, on unhooking from past relationships, because I know I shared something a while ago and everyone's like, but how do you unhook and stuff? And so I'll share that as well. I'll do a live stream on that specifically, I think. Yes, makes a lot of sense. Actually explaining a lot to me. Yes, it feels like a whole new mindset level as well to adjust to support yourself when in that space. Yes, exactly. And this is the thing where if you think about, the structures of reality changing, and I just feel like this is not really going to change. This is the change, like this is the change. And in that, this changes because this changes, but it is a whole new mindset level. It's a whole new world. Like we want to talk about, everyone's like the new earth and the new world. I'm like, yeah, this is it. Yeah. And it is a whole new mindset to be able to support the energetics of what this actually is. Like your mindset needs to adjust. You know how we're stripping away the physical stuff, right? And physical vibrational stuff, probably why you're being called to do physical detox cleanses and change your diet and stuff, because your physical body needs to hold the new vibration of what this is, right? Your physical vibrating cells needs to hold the new vibration, right? That's your container. It's the container. The mindset and the thinking is also the container. You can't think these thoughts from this old reality in here, because this, number one, that manifestation is amplified, but it's just a whole new vibrational frequency of energy of thought. Like it's not even this, like, do you know what I mean? And it is like about training and readjusting your whole being self to that, right? And this is what Mastery of Light is about, right? So if you're called to Mastery of Light, like I said, there's not even a sales page or anything for this. Just send me a private message for that, because it's a very intimate small group that I'm taking through about that. It's really strong, really, really strong, especially after today. Oh my goodness. Yes, rainbows are Archangel Azrael. Azrael's around a little bit. Archangel Azrael is the archangel that helps people cross over to the other side. So I guess there's a bit of that, but I feel like it's more about the transition space of us, because as well, you know, because he also is, you know, helps with grief, helps with like leaving one world and going to another. Like, do you know what I mean? He's the transition archangel. I don't know how to say it any other way than that. So that he's around, obviously, because that came out of my mouth. But Archangel Raziel is the one about the instant manifestation, transforming matter. He's the alchemist, Archangel Raziel. And I feel like through this phase of like humanity, he's really been around quite a lot. So yeah. Okay, so I've just popped in the link there in the comments if you haven't listened to a conversation with the archangels. I think it's nearly 2 hours long, that audio, and I channeled all 16 of the archangels. So there's really potent messages in there to support you on your path and your life purpose. So if you haven't listened to that free audio, you can sign up to get that access to that. So Tamsin says, gosh, my partner's been mirroring, sometimes projecting back to me his own shit coming up to release. Yes. And I'm getting the choice to rewrite and manifest what I truly desire. Yes. Rewrite in a sense of completely letting go from my past relationship. But the awareness never fades, and that's a blessing. Yeah, but the ego trap that can spiral back down vibrationally is the choices too. Yes, and it is the choice to spiral back down into the negativity. And this is where the mindset is kind of like, well, I could choose to go down that path of thinking, or I can choose to stay here and choose to, I'm not choosing that mindset anymore. I'm not choosing to do that anymore. Like, yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm that, but I'm choosing not to go in that mindset of that story anymore that then creates that reality, yeah? So awesome, awesome awareness, right? From toxic to healthy relationship, hard work, but worth it. Yes, exactly, right? Has to be done and vibrationally aligned. Yes, 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 yes. Feel like my throat's reopening, going through spells of being, Yes, aids me with integrating. Yes, exactly. That beingness, and that's the feminine. That's the receiving yourself, yeah? Messenger from the other side I was getting when I seen him. Yes, exactly. Yes, throat's been the same. Yes, or ear chakras and coming into the throat and all the entities and darknesses stuff is that. So Sara says, I found when I hear crows, when I do really deep ancestral healing and clearing for some reason. Yes, yes, crows are deeply connected to the ancient wisdom in the triple goddess and triune god meditation. They're really strong as well. Yeah, generational healing at its best. Yes, you're so welcome, Ricky. It's exactly what you need. The whole shebang. Yes, exactly. Alison says, been journaling so much about allowing myself to receive. It's time. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I posted the other day. Manifesting is easy when we're in full alignment, and that means full alignment with our highest self as well, right? So actions and things that you do during the day, would your future self, your highest dream version, destiny self of you be doing that? Like, well, no, she wouldn't. So, well, why are you still doing it now? Like, you want to talk about instant manifestation and pulling your future reality into now. Like, stop doing that thing that you know in the future you wouldn't be doing if you were that person. So just be that person now. Like, sounds simple. It's tricky, right? It's a skill. And that's how we amplify. Yes, PM'd. Yes, thank you. I'll grab those messages. Yeah, if you want to work with the Mastery of Light program, like I said, it's a very intimate program that I'm taking just several people through. That dropped in. It actually dropped in a while ago, and today it was like, now you have to do it. And I'm like, now with all this other stuff, like, you know, talk about recalibration. But because I've been handing over all this work and recalibrating all this stuff, like, there's more space. And I'm like, well, this makes total sense, right? When we talk about mastering your light, like, this is how we do it. This is it, right? So big spider as well. Yes. Yeah, I feel like one foot is on that step and need help with the other foot. Yes. Yeah. Remember that live stream 2 years ago? That shit changed my life. I know it's such a powerful live stream. Let me share it in the comments if anyone's, like, I literally shared it with someone this morning. So it's quite potent because I thought it was April in 2018, but it was actually June. So we're like freaking 2 years away from, like, what is it? Like, exactly 2 years. Hang on a sec. I need to, oh, I'm signed out. I've been filming all the light-filled yoga. I mean, yeah, the light-filled yoga stuff. Been filming Manifesting Magic, and I'm logged out of all my stuff. So I'm not sharing that right now because I can't remember my password off the top of my head. Does anyone like know their passwords off the top of their head? Because that just doesn't, it's not a thing. So anyway, I will share that later as well. Let me write that down. If you're curious about watching that live stream when it was like, it's not linear anymore. That's what it was, right? It's so interesting. I just shared that this morning with someone. So it must be, what's a 2-year turning point, isn't it? Because, so if you think back to where you were 2 years ago and what's birthing now compared to then, so interesting, yeah? Choosing it, yes, 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 yes. You were called to do internal compass meditation yesterday. Yes, it's so important to keep recalibrating. Keep your center through the recalibration, because it just feels like it keeps shifting. And, you know, if we just keep our center, then we can stay on that black cat magic. Yes. Sometimes it's totally back to basics. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, need to go back to basics, recalibrating the internal compass, chakra clearing, energy, self-care, self-love. It's actually quite intense to step into the new level. It is. It is. Is it intense or is it expansion? Remember we spoke about this the other day? Oh no, it was in the full moon ceremony. Oh, I think you were in the full moon ceremony. Instead of using intense, let's use expansion. So let's replace the word. This is the mindset shift already. Let's replace the word instead of intense, it's expansion. Oh, because in the expansion is openness. In the expansion is vulnerability. And in the expansion and vulnerability and openness, we receive. Whereas intense, it's like, oh, it's a bit of a shutdown, right? Really tune into the words that you use and the vibration that they hold. Do they expand you and open you, or do they close you down? We know which one we want to be in, right? So really pay attention to your words. This is starting the mindset shift to support you to be here. My aura today, I've got a lovely glow. Can see stuff dropping in as you flow, and it's admirable. Oh, thank you. Thank you for seeing that, pointing that out. Yeah, thanks Tamsin. I feel really touched by that. So Ricky says, I just looked up on a big huntsman in my kitchen. Okay. Let me finish the squirrel. Let's see. Be extra vigilant and cautious right now, and be willing to avoid or escape any threatening situations. So that's really like protecting your energy through the transition space. Yeah. Prepare for the future by gathering and storing extra food, water, clothing, candles, and money for possible later use. What I've been talking about in the world update on the Friday night. Although you're actively and aggressively pursuing your goals right now, you need to balance this pursuit with more socializing and play. Yes, play is in the vibration up here, right? It's light, it's not heavy. All right, let's have a look what Spider's got, because everyone's seeing spiders and stuff. Spider wants to speak. So obviously Spider and the spider web in the liquid crystals. Spider is associated with zircon, which is the crystal of change, yeah? So Spider in this book, yeah, like, so zircon is life changes, yeah, in the liquid crystals. In this one, says, this is an opportunity, get this is an opportunity to access your deepest wisdom and assimilate it so that it becomes part of your daily living. Be aware of any potential traps or ruses that you're tempted to get involved in, and that feels like, you know, you're going back down on this web, or, you know, like that's so that. Rather than staying stuck in this apparent impasse, open your mind to the infinite number of possibilities that are before you and make a choice. Oh, what have we just been talking about? Don't limit yourself to the mundane world, but instead be willing to explore other dimensions and realities. Ding! Okay, Spider, thank you for your conscious message as you've just been on this live stream. Oh my goodness, it's time to write creatively without limits of tradition or habit, allowing yourself to be inspired by nature. You want to talk about writing your reality into existence? Like, oh my goodness, right? Okay. Oh, so amazing. Okay, talk about on point. All right, so Alison said, did a 3-day live event, which finished yesterday. And when I did, it felt heavy. Like, where do I go now? What do I do? Okay. And that's like you plugging into your own source. Yeah. Plugging into your own direction. Ask for a sign. And there you are. Popped up in front of me. Of course. Of course you did. Love that so much. And sometimes that heaviness after an event like that can just be like the almost coming back to reality. So sometimes we can be on a real high at events like that, and sometimes it's kind of like right? So it's kind of like you're like, yeah, and you're elevated by everyone in the room, and then you kind of sink back down. So it's like, how do you hold your own elevation? How do you hold your own vibration without needing that at the same time? Does that make sense? So that's like a training to allow yourself to hold that level of vibration on your own, if that makes sense. Which is always a training. I mean, like, it's why I'm always elevating myself and have mentors. Like, it's a thing, right? Otherwise, who you hang around most of the time is who you become, right? Or we have, you know, so yeah, if that makes sense. Expansion, yes. Tamsin says you spoke about the intense expansion flip in another live stream outside the full moon. Yeah, I must have spoken about it on the update too. Tamsin says, I'm so sensitive to energy. Yes, I forget how sensitive sometimes. I felt that because I felt that you felt that because teared up. Yes. Wondering about my pregnancy hormones, just enhancing stuff. Yes. And in that expansion, like, we are more sensitive when we're pregnant. Definitely. Purpose and why I'm pregnant right now. Yes. 100%. Place hands on third eye. Yes, the trees are really supportive, and elephants have been in your awareness. Elephants been in my awareness too. Elephants are spiritual truth in the liquid crystals. Yeah. Yeah, I literally sent the elephant thing to a client this morning as well. So let's have a look what elephant has to say too. So I don't remember from this morning, of course. I know it's spiritual truth in the liquid crystals connected to sapphire. So make a point to be of service in some way to the young, elderly, or those less fortunate to yourself. Don't let anything stand in the way of attaining this goal that is so integral to your purpose. Like, when I talk about that elevating feeling and everything I've been talking about on this live stream, you have the determination and persistence required to overcome the current challenges that you're faced with. Trust your senses, and if something in your life smells bad, take the necessary action to do away with it. Remain loyal to those closest to you in spite of anyone questioning their integrity. It's a good time to renew your sense of connectedness to the divine. Talk about stepping to the next level. So interesting. Trust your senses, and if something smells bad, take the necessary action to do away with it. And it just feels like that's what that is, right? And then stick to the ones closest to you, that no matter what anyone else say, you know it's right for you because you're all going in this direction, right? No matter what anyone else says. Elevating and elephanting. I love that. So awesome. So freaking awesome. Oh, that's so good. That feels like the energy update, guys. That feels like the messages want to come through. How's the beautiful animals coming through? This is from Stephen Farmer's book, Animal Spirit Guides. There's also other books out there, of course. But Trust Intuition is open, and like I said, there is $97 psychic readings. They won't be around for much longer though, but Trust Intuition and the Inner Circle is open as well. So the Inner Circle, you get access to everything. So you get your certification, you get your advanced certification as a healer. This is a fully accredited, internationally recognized course. So you're able to, you know, get insurance in your business and be a qualified intuitive healer and life purpose activator. And then there's also, like, you don't have to do the certification. If you just want the psychic development, if you just want the personal development, and you just want to get access to having the inside story of everything that I go through in my life and share the deep energetics that intertwine and how that relates to my reality and my life and everything about trusting my intuition in between that and everything I teach, is in that course. And if you want access to that, well, obviously you can just get in Trust Intuition. You don't have to do the certification. Like I said, Trust Intuition will be doubling in price after this round. So it's $9.97 now. It will be $2,000 next time it opens. So at the end of this month will be the last time that you can get into Trust Intuition. So if it has called you, or if it's calling you, or if it ever has, now's the time to get in for Trust Intuition as well. So like I mentioned on here, if your soul is calling you for mastery of light, please send me a private message. Like I said, this is a very small, intimate group that I'm taking these people through of the mastery of light. It's been in my aura, in my awareness for probably since January it first dropped in, and I've been waiting and just sitting with it. And now it's like come through just today that it's now time to release mastery of light as well, probably because of all this recalibration that I've been going through and handing stuff over. I'm like, okay, this makes total sense. So if Mastery of Light calls to you, please send me a message and I will send you a message back about it, because yeah, it's just a very small, intimate group taking you through Mastery of Light. Yeah, you're so welcome, Tamsin. Nighttime over there, it sure is. It's nearly 7 p.m. here. So love the rain cleansing you. Mastery of Light, yes, send me a private message. It's a private one-on-one, small, intimate group that I've been guided to take people through at this time. So yeah, there's not even a sales page or anything for that. You need to send me a message about that. So yeah. Just woke up. It's 2:40 a.m. Nice. Jumping on. Please watch the replay. There's some awesome stuff in here for this energy update. And I shall see you guys soon. Love you heaps. Please share it if you feel that this could help somebody. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. And I shall see you soon. Bye.